And welcome to today's Brilliant Creatures. I'm Steven.
I'm Gail. And let's have a look what's coming up on today's show.
In Do It Yourself, we'll show you how to attract swarms of beautiful and totally brilliant butterflies.
Stephen and I travelled to America to play with the biggest land animal in the world, the brilliant and very surprising African elephant.
And we meet Bella, the Springer Spaniel, whose love of picking up strange things nearly cost her life.
There are 450 million goats in the world. That's twice the population of America. And this beautiful one is one of the smallest. She is Lucy, and she's a pygmy goat.
This is Daisy, and she's a British Saanen goat, and she's one of the largest goats in the world. Come on, Daisy, let's go for a walk.
Together they are the little and large of the goat world. Lucy here is only 40 centimetres tall from the ground up to her shoulders. So small that she only comes up to my knees.
But look at the size of Daisy. She comes right up to my hip. She's twice the size of little Lucy and 6 times heavier.
Goats eat anything they can get their mouths round, but Lucy here only eats 2 handfuls of food a day.
Whereas Daisy can easily tuck away a bucketful, and that's exactly what she's doing now.
And here's something I didn't know. Goats are the oldest domesticated animal in the whole world, and humans have bred them for over 9,000 years.
Now, traditionally, they've been bred because they're great for producing milk. In fact, it's estimated that every day there's more goat's milk drunk in the world than there is cow's milk. You're right there.
I'm having a bit of trouble, but anyway, pygmy goats don't produce much milk at all. In fact, come here, Lucy, come on. Let me pull you along. There you go. In fact, a little glassful like this is about it for the day. That would barely cover my cornflakes.
But look at all this. This is what you can get from a British Saanen every day. In fact, in a competition with 210 other breeds of goat, the British Saanen won the title of World Champion Milk Producer.
Now, some of you may be thinking, if the pygmy goat barely produces any milk at all, what's the use in having them? Well, believe it or not, they make fantastic pets. Seriously, they'll love you just as much as your cat and your dog. They only need a small space in the garden, and they double up as a rubbish bin. How cool is that?
2 brilliant creatures that certainly take some bleating.
No kidding. In my hand is an animal we've never had on Brilliant Creatures. It has over 1 million scales on its body. It has a tongue which, when it unrolls, can be the same length as its own body, and it has taste buds on its legs. Do you have any idea of what it is? Let me show you. It's a butterfly. Not only are these creatures beautiful, they're also totally brilliant.
So in today's DIY, we're going to show you how to do it yourself and attract your very own beautifully brilliant butterflies. Because we're going to show you how to make a Brilliant Creatures butterfly feeder, guaranteed to attract clouds of butterflies.
And this is it. The brightly coloured background is designed to attract butterflies just like a flower does. Now, these golf teas contain sugar water, which is just like the nectar of a flower, and butterflies love to drink it. And here's how it works. You see, the butterflies have a secret power that we don't. They see the world very differently from us.
Now, I'll show you what we mean. Have a look at these flowers. They're just orange flowers, right? Wrong. Because if we bring down the studio light and put on these special ultraviolet lights, look what happens. A whole new world opens up. Can you see those markings on the flowers now? Well, they were invisible to us, but the butterfly could see them perfectly before. And they use those markings a bit like landing lights on a runway. And those markings guide the butterfly to the nectar at the centre of the flower.
Just like the flower, our butterfly feeder is complete with ultraviolet runways to direct the butterflies to the sugar water in the golf teas.
The runways were drawn on using special ultraviolet pens like these ones. Now, you can buy yourself one of these pens in an art shop, or even some newsagents sell them.
Now, to make the backing card, it's really easy. What you want to do is draw a set of butterfly wings like this. Don't worry if it's not too neat, it doesn't need to be. And you don't have to be a good drawer, because if you go to the Brilliant Creatures website, just click on DIY, you'll find a very cool template that you can actually print off. Then you want to cut it out so it'll look something like this, and make 4 holes, bit of modelling clay underneath so you don't damage your table, 4 holes, 2 on either side, and this is where your golf teas are going to go.
Okay, now it's time to start decorating your butterfly feeder, and you can experiment with different designs, see which works best for you, and different colours. Now, blue and yellow are really good colours to use, but do avoid red because butterflies can't see red very well.
When your backing board is complete and you're happy with your design, you need to add the runways for the butterflies. So get your special UV pen or paint and add these on. And don't forget, this is what the butterflies are going to use to get that all-important sugar water. Then you want to add the gold tees. So with a bit of sticky tape on the back of all of them to keep them secure, you just stick the gold tees in and it's done virtually. It looks good, doesn't it? Go outside, stick this into the ground. The gold tees will keep it nice and sturdy. And there's one more final touch.
Now you need your sugar water. What you need to do is get some warm water and some sugar, and you just drop it in, stir it round till it dissolves. Now you don't want to make it too sweet because that's not good for the butterflies. About 1 part sugar to 10 parts water is ideal. And then you're ready.
Right, here's a really good way of putting the sugar water into the gold tees. Put a straw in the water, put your finger on top of that, that'll keep the water in the straw. And when you take your finger off, a drop of sugar water will fall in the gold tea. So whether you put your butterfly feeder on a window box or in your garden,
Do it yourself and make your very own Brilliant Creatures butterfly feeder and attract beautiful butterflies.
think of an animal big enough to eat 3 times my weight in one day.
Fast enough to outrun a human.
Can drink 600 mugs of water in a day.
Swim for 6 hours non-stop.
And he's happy both in and out of the water.
It's the elephant.
Elephants are the largest land animals in the world.
I mean, look at the size of Bubbles. Do you know she weighs 3 tons, but elephants can weigh twice that. Everything about her is massive. From these huge satellite ears
To his fire hose trunk that likes the cameraman a lot. And like all elephants, when it comes to water, Bubbles makes a big splash. This was my first meeting with an elephant, and I just couldn't get over how big she was. Their size actually makes them very dangerous. One swipe of the trunk is enough to kill a lion stone dead. So it would be impossible to play like this with most elephants.
But Bubbles isn't most elephants. She's a celebrity elephant. She's worked on Ace Ventura Pet Detective with Jim Carrey and on Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy, and she's used to sharing her bath with people.
Elephants are family animals. They spend loads of time in and around the water, and they love spending time with their babies. So in the water is a perfect playground.
As I was saying, water is the perfect playing ground for splashing and squirting.
It's not surprising that elephants love water. They live in some of the hottest countries in the world where the sun is a killer. Elephants need to drink 600 cups of water a day just to keep cool.
But elephants need to do more than just a drink. You see, unlike us, they don't have sweat glands, so they can't get rid of their body heat through sweating. So what they need to do is just bathe themselves in the water. Come on, Bubbles!
Now look at her skin, it's absolutely covered in these wrinkles. They're there for a very good reason. You see, when she's in the water, those wrinkles trap water in the fold. So when she's out of the water walking around in the hot sun, that water helps to keep her cool.
In order to get really soaked, an elephant can lie on the riverbed or use her trunk. Bubbles uses her trunk to suck up large amounts of water to spray over her head and back. Very useful if you're a big elephant in a shallow river.
But this, you're not going to believe, elephants can swim amazingly well. They can swim up to 6 hours non-stop.
They can cover 30 miles a day.
But here's the best of it. They can do it totally submerged. Ooh, underwater!
All this thanks to their fantastic multi-purpose trunks, which act like a snorkel, allowing them to breathe when totally submerged.
You can let go now!
Elephants, they're the biggest land animals in the world.
And amazing in the water.
Ever get two animals mixed up.
Don't know your crocodiles from your alligators or your frogs from your toads?
Well, this is the part of the programme where we give you the knowledge to spot the difference.
Meet Sausage the Weasel, who loves eating ice cream.
And Sylvie the Stoat. Now, if I was to take the lid off this tank, which I'm not going to, Sylvie would be out there trying to eat just about anything. Both the Stoat
and the Weasel prowl the British countryside hunting and killing.
Now, there's not much chance that you'll see a stoat or a weasel, but there's a better chance that you'll hear the screams of their latest victim, a rabbit or maybe an unfortunate vole.
They look similar, don't they? But actually they are quite different and easily told apart when you know what to look for.
Spot the difference? Number 1.
The stoat on the left can be twice the size of the weasel and weigh up to 400 grams.
Spot the difference? Number 2.
The stoat has a longer tail than the weasel and has a black tip on the end of it.
Spot the difference? Number 3.
If you look closely, you can see that the line between the top and bottom coat of the stoat is quite straight, whereas the weasel's coat is slightly jagged.
But the one thing they do have in common is that they both have a special power.
They can turn themselves completely white. Their coats turn from brown in the summer to white in the winter to blend in with the snow. The white coat is called the weasel's and stoat's ermine stage. The weasel
And the stoat.
So now you'll be able to weaselly spot the difference.
Totally cool.
Meet the lovely Belle, a 2-year-old Springer Spaniel.
Now, dogs like Belle are natural scavengers and they'll eat anything, from golf balls to buttons.
From money to keys.
Even bits of old carpet.
But Belle here, she beats them all because she ate stones.
And not just one stone,
Or a handful.
or even a bagful.
She ate 620 of them.
And if you don't believe us, have a look at this. This is an X-ray of Belle's stomach after she'd eaten the stones, and you can clearly see them all in there. And what's even more amazing is that she ate all those stones within 1 hour.
You silly dog. Now, lucky enough for Belle, her body actually rejected the stones, and within a few hours she'd actually thrown up a third of them, but that still left over 400 in her body. So she was rushed to surgery, she was given emergency operation, and they managed to retrieve the other stones in her body.
Now, we spoke to our vet about this, and she told us that Spaniels are retriever dogs, which means that they like to fetch things.
And they often pick up and eat what they find, just like Belle did.
Which is a real problem for our owners, because within 24 hours of returning home, this silly dog had done it again. So what they had to do was remove all of the small stones from their garden and replace them with big ones that she couldn't eat.
Now, all dogs eat silly things, and if you know a dog that's eaten something as stupid as Belle did, like stones, then why don't you let us know? Email us and we'll give you the address to our website at the end of today's show.
And Belle, just a little word of advice. Dogs eat dog food, not stones. Stick to that in future.
Next time on Brilliant Creatures, the brilliant but deadly stonefish.
A boy who was bitten by a deadly snake.
And the biggest creature we've ever had in the studio.
Well, that's it for today's show.
And if you want to find out about anything that you've just seen, why don't you check out the Brilliant Creatures website? The address is on the screen.
And we're going to leave you with some of today's most brilliant creatures, plus some of the bits you won't have seen. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Come on, that's it, over here. Please, come on.
Look, Lucy, we've got food. Oh, it's going, Michael. But Spaniels are natural retrievers, which means they like to fetch things.
And they often swallow what they eat. Swallow what they eat.